Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm Charlie and today we are going to be doing another iMac G3 related thing. So this is my Snow iMac G3 and this is a later slot loading DV model. And if you didn't know, or maybe you do know and you're here, these computers have one fatal issue that will eventually plague every single iMac G3 DV ever out there. And that is speaker rot. So if you don't know, the iMac G3 has these speakers, and these speakers are not very good. I mean, they sound really good, but that's only when they work, and then when they don't work, they sound really terrible. So let me explain. So if you look at the speakers, as you can see, especially with this one, you see the foam, like the black foam, it's starting to rot, and if you touch it, it'll like disintegrate because this is just from age, because these 20-year-old speakers will all eventually just start rotting, and you can just see that all this foam is just coming off. And this is just from age, and this isn't from the quality of the speakers, it's just the material they chose to use, which will just degrade from like different types of environments. So there is a way to replace them, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be replacing both of the speakers on this iMac G3. So I don't recommend doing this unless the speakers are sound really bad, because the speakers on the iMac G3 sound really good, and this is only applying to the DV models. The earlier tray loading models don't have really good speakers. However, the tray loading model speakers are made out of a different material, so they will last better. But the DV speakers are just garbage because they don't last for very long. But if you do have these speakers on your iMac and you haven't replaced them yet, and you're thinking about replacing them, if they still sound fine, I'd keep them on, because it's not worth your time, and also they sound pretty good as is, so I'd leave them. But this is just because these are already rotted and they don't sound good, so I'm going to be replacing them anyway. So what am I going to be replacing them with? So I went to Goodwill and I found this speaker box thing for like $5, and basically what this thing does, it's basically just a speaker, but as you can see, it has basically the same speakers as the iMac G3. As you can see, these are like 1-inch cone speakers, and these are and they have like these little chrome cone pieces, and these are pretty easy to find on different modern different electronics, and they're about an inch. They're about an inch, I believe. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we're going to take this apart and take the speakers out, and then we're going to put it in these things, and then yeah, we're going to replace them. But before we replace them, I thought it'd be fun if we just blasted some music through these, because I thought that would be fun, because these are really funny when they're rotted. So let's do that first. All right. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be playing some music. So I decided we'll play some memes. This is a CD I made. So let's give it a go. Just kidding. We're just going to be playing some He-Man. But anyway, as you can hear, you can sort of hear that it's like, and you can see that they don't sound or look very good. So I have bass reducer on, but if I put bass booster on, yep, this is what happens, and it looks pretty comical because of the jiggling. But this is because all the foam is gone. It needs that foam to be able to sound good, so that's why it sounds like this. But on the other ones, I do have two other iMacs with good speakers, and the speakers sound really good, but these ones sound really bad. So I mean, no matter what I replace them with, it's easily an upgrade. But if these already sound good, don't change them, because it might even be a downgrade, because this is made in China, and these are legit speakers from a good company. I believe it's Harman Kardon, or however you pronounce it. I'm pretty bad at that, but they're good speakers when they work, but when they don't work, you could just replace them. So yeah, now we're gonna continue messing with these and just see what we can do, and then we're gonna take apart the other speaker. god. They're like destroying themselves. Oh no! Oh, there we go. Yeah, this one seems to be done. What about the other one? I want to try something else. Uh-oh, I just saw smoke coming from that. That is it still coming out? Yeah, I think we're done with messing with these for now. It's pretty hot, so. Oh well, speakers are done now. So let's actually replace them. Alright, let's actually get to taking apart the speaker. So I've already tested that it works. This is a battery-powered speaker that you connect to your phone with a wire, which is pretty outdated. This isn't Bluetooth. Well, I don't think it is, but who cares? We're going to be taking this apart anyway. So we can take the battery cover off. And we have some screws down here. We have, it seems we have 3 screws, but I have a feeling there are going to be like 4 more hidden under these things. But let's just take these out first. So, yeah. Alright, it's a perfect size screwdriver for this. I don't really care what size screws these are, but yeah, this is just hard to open, so. It's probably like the type of thing that you'd like win at a carnival or something. I mean, I don't even think this thing's worth more than $5, but who cares? It sounds okay. It sounds pretty good for 1-inch speakers, but I mean, it's definitely an improvement over the rotted speakers in the G3. Anyway, so now it should come off. There we go. All right, so now we have it open, and we can take a look inside. So, what do we have inside? So, we have these 2 wires connecting to the battery terminals. We have a controller board for the power button and a few other things. This might actually be Bluetooth because of all the technology I'm seeing in here. I don't think it is, though. We have the board for the headphone jack and the charger for the, just in case you're using rechargeable batteries. But yeah, anyway, so these are the speakers that we're going to be taking out. As you can see, there's 2 of them, thankfully. And if you go to any Goodwill, you're probably going to find something with these types of speakers. But yeah, here they are. They look perfect. There was another thing, like these speakers are quite popular, but you know the speakers where they have like those water thingies, like those little water fountains in them. I'll put a picture up, but there was a pair of those there, but they were quite expensive. They were like $18, and I wasn't gonna get them. And they also also one of the speakers was kind of looked like it was picked at, so it didn't look very good. So I just decided to get this one. This one was in the glass case for some reason, but anyway, $5, pretty good. And these don't look that bad. They look cheaply made. Not really. They look okay for speakers, I guess, but if you compare it to the other ones, these ones look a lot better just in terms of quality, but because they're old, they have to go. So, yeah, that's a shame, but anyway, so we're just going to take these out now. They seem to be soldered on, but you know what? I'm just going to cut the cable cuz I don't really care. We're just going to cut the cable. So, yeah. All right, that's 1 speaker. And 2 speaker. Oh, and by the way, you can actually buy these speakers by themselves on eBay, and they're pretty cheap. So yeah, they're like maybe $10 for those speakers. But I found this route cheaper and more efficient because it didn't take so long for them to come. So yeah, now I just have this useless box that I might use for something else. So we'll put that to the side. But here we have the speakers. So as you can see, they do fit pretty well, and they don't look that bad either. So they look a bit off compared to the other ones, but that's fine as long as they sound good. So now I'm gonna get a few more tools, and then we'll continue. All right, so now we're gonna take out the actual speakers in the computer. So the speakers themselves are in these cone things, like these enclosures, to make them sound better, I guess. And also they were probably easier to manufacture that way and just mount in the case. So these are removable, and I'll show you that in just a second, but theoretically you can actually go onto eBay and buy these new speakers with the enclosure and everything for like like maybe $10 or $15 on eBay. However, the problem that most people don't think of when they do this is that those speakers that they're buying on eBay are old, meaning that eventually they are going to degrade once again, and they might have already been degraded when they bought them. So that's why I'm doing this. So I'm going to show you how to take out this enclosure, and then we're actually going to open it up and replace the actual speakers themselves and then put them back in. So, and also if you are replacing the speakers on like a color computer, let's say you have like a Lime, good luck finding Lime speakers. That's going to be nearly impossible. So this is just an easier solution. So the way you do this is that there's this little part here that you're supposed to push down and then you're supposed to push down like this and then pull out like this. It's really complex, but the other one should be a bit easier since I've already taken it out. The first time you take it out, it's really difficult, but once you've already taken it out, it should be easier. So that's how you take it out. So this is what it looks like. So you have to go like this. You have to sort of like go like this and like go pull like out like this. It's really annoying to do. It takes kind of a bit, but yeah, and then you could just unplug it like this. So that's how you do that, and this is the actual thing itself, and it's held together by one giant Phillips head screw. So we're just going to put this one to the side, and then if you move to the other side, the other one is a bit difficult to get out, so you're might want to get like a screwdriver of some kind just to pry it out. Maybe just to at least like get it a little loose in there so that it comes out. And with a bit of luck, we finally have this speaker off as well. So yeah, we just have this little cable with a little clip that you want to push down on, and then now we have both of the speakers out of the computer. So now it's time to disassemble these and then put the new speakers in. Alright, so we have the speakers out here, so we're going to focus on one of them just for now, and then I'll do the other one off camera because they're both exactly the same thing. They're just for different sites. But basically, I'm using a size 3 Phillips head screwdriver, and this seems like the perfect size. It is the perfect size, so that's just in case you need that. So yeah. So take out the screw. This is a gargantuous, this is a colossal screw right here. It's massive, but so you definitely don't want to lose this. It's probably hard to find, so. And then you just want to pull it off. There's this silicone gel stuff holding the rest of it together that you want to try opening. I guess it'd be like cracking an egg. You could try using a hammer, but I'm gonna try prying it out without trying to damage the silicone because I don't plan on replacing it, and I don't want it to sound bad because of this. So there we go. I just stuck that in there, and there we go. Silicone is off. I just stuck it into this little hole here and just pry it open like that, and there we go. So now that we're actually in, we have the actual speaker itself, so we could just take this off, and yeah, there it is. Ugh. And yeah, there's the speaker, so you can just take that out. You might want to clean this up after that, so that's what I'm going to do. As you can see, this thing is pretty massive, and you can see these do look very hefty and large compared to the new speakers, but they should both fit in the same. So we're just going to put this old speaker aside, and as you can see, when you put the new speaker in, it should fit perfectly fine. So we're not going to connect it yet. You're probably going to have to connect it with like a glue or something, so we're going to do that in a moment, but I'm going to clean these pieces up first and disassemble the other one, and I'll be back. Alright, so now that I'm done with cleaning these enclosures, it's time to get to the soldering. So I have my soldering iron heating up over there, and one thing that we have to do is we have to somehow transfer this connector to the new speaker so that they'll connect to the computer. So I have to do this twice because for both the speakers, and one thing I noticed is that these wires are thicker than these wires, and I think it's gonna be too hard to have to connect these together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to desolder these wires completely off and just get rid of them. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm also gonna take these wires off, strip them, and then connect them to these speakers. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. So these speakers are kind of dead now, so I'm gonna see if I can try to get this off But you know what? I think I'll just cut these, to be honest. So, got my fancy boy wire stripper here that I bought at the hardware store like a couple years ago. And we're just going to cut these off. These are perfect for cutting wires, just to let you know. And they're also good at stripping them because they're built to do that. So, yeah, we're just going to cut these off. So, yeah. And now that we have them both cut, these speakers are now just trash over here. So, we're just going to get rid of that later. So, yeah, so now what we're going to do is we're going to desolder these wires. Because as you can see, they do, because if I just cut them off, there's still going to be some stuff left over, and I don't want that leftover stuff, so we're going to just be desoldering that all together. And this feels hot. Never touch a soldering iron, by the way. Just feel it like this, because you can burn yourself. And it feels hot enough, so we're going to see if we can try and do this already. So try zooming in. It's really difficult to do this on camera, by the way. So yeah, there's the tip of the soldering iron. And we're just gonna try to melt that off. And if you don't know how to use a soldering iron, there's an easier alternative to doing this. You could just strip the wires and just twist them, but it's not very reliable in my opinion, so it's best to just solder it. If you know how to solder, then I recommend it. Oh, that's annoying. I just pulled that off accidentally, so yeah, it's gonna be fun to take off. Yeah, it's super annoying to take these off. I'm just gonna rip that extra piece off. All right, that wire's gone. And oh, as you can see, there's actually these little rings here. So I'm gonna try connecting it to that, and that should be it. So you can also see that there's a plus and minus. So red is plus and black is minus. If you do it the opposite way, it's probably not gonna go well. So just keep that in mind, okay? So that's just something you should keep in mind, because that's pretty important. So yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna move this out of the way. I have so much stuff on this table because I'm doing so many different projects at this moment. So yeah, but I'm gonna take this other piece off here. No, wait, you have to be patient because sometimes it's not hot enough and you have to wait for it to melt the solder to like a liquid, and there it goes. Yep, we got it. So that wire is gone. And now we just have the speaker left over with these little rings. So these rings are what we're going to connect the new wire to. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get this old wire, which is this thing, and we're going to carefully try to strip these. I recommend buying like an actual wire stripper, because if you don't, you might do it wrong, and then you'll just lose a lot of slack if you keep doing it wrong. So what size is this gonna be? Non-18, might be a 20, but yeah, it's a 20. So as you can see, if you look, it's the 18 to 20 one. So it's just in case you're wondering. I'm gonna do that to the other one as well. So it's pretty simple to use one of these. You just put this wire in here like so, and then you pull, and then there you go. Now you got nice exposed wire. So what I like to do after this is I like to twist this part like so, because there's these little tiny strands of copper, as you can see, and these can and you want them all to stay together, because sometimes they can just like keep separating, and it's really irritating. So just twist it up like this, and it's easier. So yeah, now we get to actually soldering the wires on. So this is another delicate procedure. Now what I'm going to try doing here is I'm going to try, and these might be a bit too thick, but what I'm going to try and do is stick them through these little holes here. So this is the positive one, put it in the positive hole, and yeah, it worked. So I'm going to bend it like this so it doesn't leave. Voila. And now, for the final thing, I'm going to solder it. So I'm going to try and bend the cable so that's not in the way of the soldering. But what I'm going to get now is I'm going to get the soldering iron and get some solder. And we're just going to put the solder here and the iron there and just melt it on. All right, there we go. It's good enough. So now dries very quickly. So now, as you can see, this is now connected with the solder. And it dries up and cools down pretty quickly, so I can touch it like right as I'm finished. It's not like hot glue or anything where it takes like forever. So yeah, now we can do it to the other one. And bada bing, bada boom, pow. Now we have completed this speaker. And as you can see, they're both connected. And they're pretty strong as well, which is good. So now that we've done this, I'm going to do the other speaker, and then we'll get to actually putting the speakers into the enclosure. Alright, so I have just finished soldering both of the speakers onto the wires. So before I waste my time putting them in the enclosures, I want to see if they actually work. So I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter if it's left or right, but when you do have the enclosures on, it does, because they're different orientations. So yeah, we're just gonna put these back on, and we're just gonna see if they work. I just want to see, and I also want to see how well they work, just as like a comparison to the old ones. And they don't look good now, but they'll look perfect when they're done with the enclosures and everything. So yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna plug it in and power on. So 3, 2, 1. All right, now for the moment of truth. Oh. Okay, they work. They don't sound good right now, but that's just because the bass boost is on. So let's just quickly change that in settings. Let's try seeing how they sound. But yeah, they sound pretty good. They're obviously not as good as the original ones, but it's definitely an upgrade to the rotted ones, though. Alright, so now what we're going to be doing is we're going to figure out how we're going to connect these speakers to these enclosures. So I just went to the hardware store, and I bought some super glue. And what I'm doing here is, so this super glue apparently has like a brush and a nozzle. So that's what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try and use the brush piece to apply to this bottom piece here, and then I'll stick the speaker in. So on the original one, they seem to use like this gel sort of stuff, and I wasn't able to find that at the hardware store or anything that was precise enough. So yeah, and I also noticed that the old speakers have the cables coming out the back like this, but the new ones have the cables coming out through the top. So I have to figure out what way I'm going to put them in, and I think I'm going to put them with the wires sticking up like this, because there's hopefully enough space at the top. So yeah, that should be good enough. So we're gonna put it in like this. So that's what I'm gonna do, and we're gonna do that with the other one as well. So I'm gonna figure out how this works first. Here's the brush, and yeah, so that's how the brush works, and this is hopefully clear. I have used Gorilla Glue before, and I thought it was clear, but it wasn't, so it kind of ruined something I had, but I'm hoping that this one is clear, or just good enough so that you can't really see anything, so once it's applied. So guess what I'm going to do here is more precision. This is a very precise project because everything is small. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to zoom into this thing. So what we're going to try and get done here is we're going to try and get the glue around this ring here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the brush. This apparently dries in 10 seconds, so I guess I'll have to be quick and hoping this is precise enough. So dab some like so. Okay, so that should be good enough. Quickly put that back, and quickly put on the speaker in the way that I want it. So it'll be like this. And yeah, it seems to fit on perfectly fine. So now, speaker is on, so I'm gonna push this down, and yeah, it's connected. So that's pretty good. So let's do the other one. Alright, now that the speakers are dried up, now we have to put the top case back on. So what I have to do here is I'm going to bend these back so that I can actually put them in. And if you look at the back, you can see there's like these two holes. You need to like stick the cables in there. So that's what I'm going to do. To like pull this part up a bit. You pull that up and then stick that down there. Yeah, I'm going to quickly do this. And now both of the speakers are done. So I did end up finishing the cable management piece there. I ended up putting the cables in that. That was probably the hardest part. I also put a little bit of super glue around the edges to keep it really secure. And yeah, now they're put back together. So let's actually put them on the computer and see how they sound. And here they are in their cases. So now that they're completely done, let's see how they will sound. Honestly, they sound pretty good. They sound better with the thingies on, which is why in their cases, which is why they I think they put them there in the first place. And they also don't look that bad. There's just a bit of black stuff there. It's good. So, yeah. But, yeah, they both look pretty good. But they're definitely better than before. So, now that we're done, we can finally conclude the video. So that'll do it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope this might be helpful to a few people who are looking to replace the speakers on their own iMac G3. I definitely recommend this process if you desperately need the speakers replaced because they don't sound good. But if your speakers still sound good and they're not rotted, I would just leave them be because it doesn't sound as good as the original ones, but it's definitely a huge improvement over the rotted speakers. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, I hope you all found this helpful, and I will see you in the next video. So, goodbye.